Thank you for tuning in to watch CAA's Invest New Jersey Leadership Summit. You're about to watch panel number 3, Future Ready New Jersey, How Education is Driving the Garden State's Competitive Edge. Be sure to like and subscribe for more leadership content. Enjoy.
Thank you, Abby. Conference. All right, well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thanks to Invest NJ for having us. I have the privilege of being here with 4 distinguished educators, but I am not an educator. I'm cursed with a law degree, but I was raised by 2 educators who helped give me some street cred. My parents' degrees are from Cambridge and Rutgers, which I also hope gives me additional street cred. So what I'd like to do as we start off is to give each of these folks an opportunity to introduce themselves and to introduce yourself. Tell the audience what you think your institution is doing to help New Jersey remain very competitive, which would include keeping your best students here in New Jersey. Turning to you first.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Vito. My name is David Birdsall. I'm Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs at Keene University. And I also, as of January 1, have a parallel job. I am the Chief Academic Officer Designee at New Jersey City University, which, as of July 1st of this year, will become Keene Jersey City, where the process merger. What we're doing, and I'm going to start with that merger, is to try to preserve educational assets and multiply their value by engaging with community. We do that in Union County, we do that in Hudson County, we do it around the state and indeed now around the world with campuses in China and active academic programs in Dubai, Brazil, Korea, and other countries. So multiply those propositions, listening to and attending to the
and like your act developments appeal for us when you're.
Good morning, my name is Augustine Lee, the president of Essex County College and Stone College, which 2 great campuses, one in Newark and the other Caldwell. Essex County College, as one of the 8 community colleges in the state of New Jersey, we see ourselves together with our 4-year institutions as the drivers of New Jersey State's economy. Why? Because we simply change and transform talents into smart and skilled labor force, empowering individuals, families, and local businesses, and the state as a whole. If you take the communities that I'm coming from, Newark, Caldwell, and Essex County as a whole, most of our students are already residents of the communities, and they really want to stay with their families. Therefore, helping them to get the education and the skills and still connect with their families is the best we can ever do.
Thanks, sir.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Chancellor of Rutgers New Brunswick. And I just want to start by saying that education is New Jersey's competitive edge. When you think about the competitiveness of New Jersey, its aspirations, the momentum that we have in the state, we think about the talent and cultivating talent. So that means who has access to education? Are they prepared to deal with the change that comes when you're in society, and that keeps coming? Once you're alive, change will come. And then lastly, do they see New Jersey as a possible home for them, for themselves and their families? And what we do, and what I believe, is that when access, excellence, and workforce relevance move together, then we're going in the right direction. We're making a difference for the state of New Jersey. So, like you, I really appreciate what you said about your student population. We have a large first-gen population, large Pell-eligible population, and so we're in the business of transforming lives, and education allows you to do that.
Morning, Mark McCormick, Middlesex College, and as Dr. Boach said, we are 18 strong community colleges here in New Jersey. I see one of my colleagues, Chris Reber from Hudson, here as well. I think the answer to the question about stopping out migration, and New Jersey is the #1 state where students tend to go to college and then leave and not come back, is to have an intentional ecosystem that works both from the 2-year college to 4-year college, and also with industry businesses. I'll give quick examples about both. So Middlesex College is uniquely situated in the center of the state, where our number one target transfer institution is to my right, Rutgers, New Brunswick, and we established this last fall the first ever partnership between a community college in New Jersey and RUNB, where when the students are told they didn't get into Rutgers on their first try, they were told they come to Middlesex College if they're a Middlesex County resident and finish a degree in a certain amount of time, a certain GPA. They're guaranteed admission into 8 of 11 colleges at Rutgers. It's a great opportunity for those students. So it's a win-win. They'll get to do it for less and with quality at Middlesex, and then get the Rutgers degree when they graduate from Rutgers 2 years later. We have 262 students in that first cohort, so that's a special applied plan. And our number 2 transfer institution is Kane. So we have great partnerships, all the community colleges, with all the 4 years here in the state, but they still go to the 4-year colleges and think about going on to some other state when they graduate. So the second part is equally important. As comprehensive community colleges, we're focused on transfer, which we do well. 3/4 of our students come in with that as their goal. But we also have students who want to get a degree and go right to work. Think dental hygiene, think paralegal, think auto tech, think process technology. And in those areas, we as community colleges work very intentionally with business and industry. And we have an association, the Jersey Council of County Colleges, that started 3 years ago, a partnership with the New Jersey Business and Industry Association, which many of you in the room probably belong to, where we have funding from the state of New Jersey to fund those conversations with industry to make sure that the critical need they have for employees is being filled right here in New Jersey. And when students can see from in middle school through high school through the 2-year college, there's a pathway they're on that gets them to a high-paying job right here in their hometown, they often stay. So 92% of our students at Middlesex College are Middlesex County residents, and most of them tend to stay. But again, the ecosystem we create with our 4-year partners and with businesses makes that happen.
Thanks very much. You know, we've heard it said many times that there is no greater investment you can make than investing in education, right? And in terms of education creating opportunity, I know they had a photographer here earlier. I have an extraordinary view right now because I have 4 of the state's leading educators, and then over the shoulder of one of them is the Statue of Liberty. It's really an extraordinary view in terms of what it means for education to lead to opportunity. Now, at this particular moment in our history, of course, when we take a look at what's going on technologically, it's hard to divorce education from innovation. So I wanted to give each of you an opportunity to talk about what you think that you're doing at your institution when it comes to innovative ideas and innovative processes. So once again, sir, I'll start with you.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to start small and then go large in terms of strategy. At the smallest level, we're creating new degree programs and minor programs to introduce students to new technologies. We have the state's first Bachelor of Science in Artificial Intelligence that just opened up out of our computer science department in September of last year. And obviously those students are very much focused on AI, quad AI. But we also know that it's not enough to stop at the people who want to make that their central focus of life. So we're standing up, and the author of this is the George Chang, who's sitting at the table over here, is a series of minors that's AI in management, AI in sociology, AI in healthcare, whatever it might be. And you have a cluster of 3 courses that get taught out of mathematics and computer science, and then a pair of courses that individuate that for a discipline so that it becomes pan-institutional in many ways. And standing those up across the university gives everybody an opportunity. Number 2, it can't only be about what people learn in college, it has to be about how they learn in college. So elevating student inquiry, making sure that we have a general education curriculum, and we have changed ours out wholesale to elevate inquiry, place, and experience in every student's college career so that they are asking questions, they are learning how to frame and answer the difficult problems that they are all going to address throughout their lives and carry that into their majors. And finally, number 3, a theme that you have heard on every single panel this morning is that we engage with community. And this is really important. And some of the people that you've heard talk about the difficulty of doing that. We're all familiar with the ivory tower metaphor for academia, right? That we're very self-satisfied, we're very prestige-oriented. We'll talk to you later, we've got academic stuff to do. That's wrong for today. Communities bring us need, they bring us wisdom, they bring us opportunities to co-invest in research, to co-invest in academic programs, to make the experience of education richer for our students and those members of the community at the same time. We define community broadly in terms of institutional and industrial sector, but also in terms of the geographies that we address. When we put all of that together, you have people enabled to pose and answer important questions in concert with people off campus to make changes that leverage the new technologies, and we're very proud about those developments.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
And I'll just continue. Today's leadership comes with vision and partnership. We do that also strategically and at the same time being purposeful. So we knowing what we are there for and what our mission statement compels us to do, we first partner with our stakeholders and also the industrial partners to make sure we truly understand what they want. Because in most cases, we tend to create things. We talk about technology and all other things. And if we don't tie in truly with the industry partners, we kind of have gaps. So we do comprehensive local needs assessment by bringing the right people to the table to actually discuss what they need. Where do we need to upskill ourselves in terms of technology? And where do we need to place more emphasis on critical thinking, problem solving, and communication, teamwork, and other things? And looking at all the answers and the input we get from our partners, we go back to our department and sit down with the leaders to make sure that we infuse the right strategy, the right technology into our programs. If you come to Essex County College now, I would say that we are one of the leading schools in the state of New Jersey when it comes to infusing things like Bloomberg technology into our business programs, financial literacy, and making sure that students even get to know how to write their own business plan before they leave the college. So when they leave, they can either set up their own businesses or compete very well in the labor market. Across board, our nursing and allied med program, increasing our simulation, other things, clinical or hands-on practices. So all the areas that we already cover, either at the workforce development level, at the certificate level, degree level, we make sure we work with our partners so that we will align ourselves right from the beginning and do the right thing.
Thank you. How about Rutgers?
I'm just going to jump in, give a slightly different perspective, ditto to what everyone else said. I want to talk a little bit about the community piece and our research mission. So Rutgers is a public university with a mission to serve the public. What that simply means is that we want to know what are the problems, what are the challenges that society faces, and then we want to work with you and partner with you to talk about how do we find solutions. And I'll give you a couple of examples. We are focused on, for example, sustainability and climate. And the industry came to us and said, what can we do with wind energy? So Rutgers set up a wind lab. That lab is not only addressing that particular problem of addressing another source, a sustainable source of energy, but because of the partnerships, because of the breadth and the access to the enterprise, that one request has led to multiple partnerships with government, with industry. It has led to research and internship experiences for students, and we're making a difference at the same time. So we always try to find ways to bring together the expertise that is within the university and leverage that to help society. So currently we're looking at the Helix, which some of you may have heard about, which is a big project that's going up in New Brunswick. It's about health and bio and life sciences innovation, but also startups and patents and technology and sort of inventors and serving as an incubator for not only New Jersey, but other partners nationally, internationally. So we do a lot on the research front. looking at capacity building. We're also working with the Department of Transportation. We have a center, Kate, where we're using innovation and technology to help New Jersey Transit solve problems. So I could go on and on and on, but those are the kinds of things we definitely keep tied into the community and partnership with many of you in the room.
Thanks. Mark?
Earlier in the first response, my colleague Dr. Comey mentioned that we in higher ed in New Jersey, especially in public higher ed, are focused on transforming lives. And community college world, it's focused on helping students, usually from first-generation background, historically underserved communities, who didn't think they were college-ready or college-worthy, get on a pathway to economic prosperity. Whether it means getting an associate degree with us and going right to work, or continuing on with their education at Rutgers and Kate and elsewhere. And so I'll give you an example about innovation that's happening at Middlesex College as part of that Pathways project that the New Jersey Council of County Colleges is engaged in collaboration with the New Jersey Business and Industry Association. So New Jersey is the #1 state for biopharma, right? Under the medicine chest of the world. And right in central Jersey, where Middlesex County is, we have a lot of biopharm major players and smaller firms focused on making sure they can produce those things that the world needs. And so as part of this Pathways project, 3 of the colleges here in Central Jersey, Middlesex, Mercer County Community College, and Raritan Valley Community College, which serves Somerset and Hunterdon counties, partnered together with Johnson & Johnson, based right here in New Brunswick, and make sure that we are meeting the needs of those industry partners who don't have enough skilled employees at the entry level, especially in aseptic manufacturing, which is a growing field. And so we rather than making up the curriculum ourselves, we said, tell us what you need. Give us the details. So we're working with a round table of biopharma partners of all sizes. We developed the curriculum with their expertise and then embedded the experiential learning part at those institutions. So students are coming through beginning in high school to get a chance to try out and learn some skills and get a credential that can lead to a paying job. They can come back to Middlesex College or Raritan or Mercer and get a 2-year degree in biotech and get a better job. Then go on to Rutgers or Kane or elsewhere and get a 4-year degree or beyond and get an even better job. There's a pathway all the way through that leads to high wages where they can support their families right here in New Jersey. So innovation has to do again with that ecosystem of working between the 2- and 4-year colleges, and more importantly with all of you in business and industry.
Thanks. All right. Obviously, we're tight on time, but I want to do sort of a lightning round question for each of you. So obviously, given the institutions that you are helping to enhance, you know that success is often measured by test scores and graduation rates. But for the people in this room and the people beyond this room, the policymakers, industry leaders, what should they use besides those same tired metrics to assess the success that the New Jersey educational system is having in strengthening the state's long-term competitiveness? So once again, David, I'll start with you.
Thanks so much, Vito. So I'm going to rescue one of those metrics, graduation rate. The worst thing that we can do for students is get them on board, give them 2 or 3 years, have them take out student loans and not graduate. It's having a mortgage and no house. So getting people to finish is really, really important, and recognizing where they come from and helping that happen. So I'm going to keep that one. But after that, overall economic impact, the number of community partners that you have, where community partnership really results in something important. There are a lot of universities. There's a national organization called the Coalition of Urban and Metropolitan Universities that is dedicated to trying to help universities accelerate those partnerships. We are proud to be a member, as are many institutions, I believe, everyone here. So that is the kind of focus that we want to look at. What is the impact? What are you actually doing off your campus to make the state successful?
I would just say that for anybody to assess and measure what we do, you have to look at it from how many lives do we change each week, each month, each year. I'm coming from Newark, and our college is uniquely positioned because the 1,200 students that will graduate every year is not necessarily tying into the graduation rate, but the many people we take from the street, get them education, and be able to be on their own, take care of themselves and take care of their families, and also support the local businesses and contribute to the local communities and the state as a whole. I believe that if we are to be assessed, we have to look at it from a lives that we change. Thanks.
I'm proud to say that all three of Rutgers campuses, Newark, Camden, and New Brunswick, are in the top 50 when it comes to social mobility. What social mobility means is it's a metric that actually looks at, is the individual's life better? Are their financial circumstances better than when they came into college? So just to go back a bit, we've partnered with Governor Murphy on his Garden State Guarantee. I think that was available to many universities to partner. And what that means is that we added our financial aid package to Governor Murphy's, what he provided, to provide support for low and middle income students. So our students who earn about $65K or less don't have to pay anything to come to Rutgers, New Brunswick. And then we have a couple of tiers with that. So they're coming in with little debt to begin with. We graduate them, but then we want them to find jobs. And so we have an experiential learning requirement, similar to what you described, Mark, that we want every student to have some kind of practical, pragmatic experience before they graduate. The results bear out. 84% of our students earn more than they came in with within 6 months of graduating. And that's because of every one of you in this room. You employ them, you provide internships for them, you provide learning opportunities, and it pays out. And not only that, most of the students who graduate from Rutgers, New Brunswick end up staying in the state of New Jersey and therefore contributing to the economy.
I want to second what Dr. Conway just said about social mobility. I think that's one of the metrics we need to measure, and one way to do that is by making sure our students leave our institutions with some kind of credential of value, right? So graduation is important. So for two-year colleges, it's not just those two-year degrees that often are transferable to a four-year institution. It's also other kinds of workforce credentials that are industry valued and industry recognized. And so we, as the community college sector, all 18 of us, have adopted a goal set by the Lumina Foundation to have 75% of the adults in New Jersey have some sort of credential of value, either a degree or a credential recognized by industry that pays 15% greater than the median wages of those people who only have a high school diploma. So it's a modest goal, but believe it or not, New Jersey is number 7 in the country right now in terms of having a percentage of adults who have an industry recognized credential or degree at 49%, which is low. So giving the 75% would be a lift, and in 2040, that's around the corner, 14 years. So having partners, hopefully the incoming administration, that Governor-elect Mike Sherrill, but more importantly, all people in the business and industry, other institutions of higher education, and other partners who care about having a populace who are educated and have social mobility because of the credential they earn.
Thanks very much. So, as I said, I am not an educator, though I represent a lot of educational institutions, but I'll try to wrap this up with a story that involves my both learning a lesson and teaching a lesson. And I'm going to stand on this podium and prevents me from seeing half the room. So recently I was on a conference call with a client where we were wrestling with issues associated with a federal appeal of great significance to the client, even though the federal appeal is located here in New Jersey, it affected the client throughout the country. So there were a half a dozen lawyers from throughout the country on this call. It was a video conference, actually. So I was asked a question about a particular strategy they might want to take on the appeal, and I gave an answer that, based on my experience, I thought it would be very helpful to the client. So after I was done, the client asked this guy, Mark, from California, with a major firm, very well educated, what he thought. They said, that sounds pretty good. What Vito said, what do you have to say, Mark? And so Mark said, you got to give me a minute. I'm a little taken aback here by Vito. And they said, what do you mean? And he said, just, I don't know, the way he presented himself. I mean, I heard Vito Gagliardi from New Jersey, and I was just surprised at the way he answered. I said, you mean because, I was a little soft-spoken and my answer was very direct and coherent? And he said, yes.
Okay.
Now, I can't tell the story accurately without being a little off color, so forgive me in advance. So I said, well, if the call goes on long enough, maybe I'll be able to live up to your expectations and there'll be a chance for me to tell you to go fuck yourself. So I learned a little something and he learned a little something. So education is very valuable, but New Jersey, we know New Jersey is awesome and is a great place to invest. Many of us in this room, I'm confident, myself being one of them, are a product of the sort of things you were talking about, where upward mobility and opportunity comes through education. My grandparents held blue-collar jobs not far from where we are right now, and the reason that I'm here wearing a tie and with you distinguished folks is because of the value of education for me, for you, for all of us. And so I want to thank Abby and Invest and Jay for the opportunity to be here with you. I thank you all for not simply what you said, but for what you do every day. And I thank you all for your kind attention.
Thank you.